The case of Riley Crossman is a tragic and haunting story, where what seemed to be the safest place became the source of danger. In May 2019, the sudden disappearance of the 15-year-old girl with a promising future ahead sent the small community in West Virginia into a state of extreme anxiety. Riley, an outstanding high school student and the pride of her family, vanished without a trace, and only after 8 days was her body discovered in a state of decomposition on a deserted road. However, what made the case even more disturbing was the identity of the killer, someone very close to Riley, a person no one would have suspected. Who was the one who ruthlessly took the life of this young girl? And what was the true motive behind such a brutal act? These questions drove the investigation into a dramatic journey, revealing unexpected dark corners within Riley's own home. Context and development. Before the tragedy occurred, Riley Crossman's life in a small town in West Virginia seemed peaceful, but behind that facade were unspoken tensions. Riley, a promising young girl with a bright future, lived with her mother and a man she called her stepfather. The family appeared happy, but subtle changes in the behavior of those around her began to raise concerns. Things grew increasingly strange as Riley began to sense a shift in the family dynamic. Cryptic remarks, suspicious actions, and at times, an unexplainable tension between the members. No one realized that these changes were signs of a dark secret about to unfold. On May 8, 2019, Riley suddenly disappeared. It all started as a normal day when Riley didn't show up for school and couldn't be reached by phone. At first, her family thought she was simply out with friends or spending time somewhere. However, as night fell with no trace of her, concern quickly turned into panic. The family contacted the police, and a search was launched. Everyone hoped for a happy ending, that she would return safely. But what they did not anticipate was the truth behind her disappearance, a story full of mysteries and suspicions, particularly involving those closest to Riley. 7 days after Riley went missing, her body was found in a remote area, far from where she lived. The traces at the scene raised many suspicious questions: a faint footprint, signs that the body had been moved, and especially the bruising on her neck, evidence of a clear act of violence. The body was discovered in a state of decomposition, but what remained was enough for investigators to recognize that this was not a case of suicide or an accident, but a deliberate murder marked by coldness and cruelty. One of the first suspicious aspects of the case was the inconsistencies in the statements of those closest to Riley. The person she trusted the most, the one her family thought would protect her, failed to provide a consistent story. The changes in his account prompted the police to pay closer attention, and the vague connections in his testimony began to make him a suspect. He continually provided details that didn't align with the evidence at the scene, leading investigators to question his involvement in the crime. What made the police even more tense was the fact that Riley's phone seemed to contain crucial clues. Calls and text messages from her phone were analyzed, and a strange message from an unfamiliar number was discovered. This raised suspicions that Riley may have been stalked or threatened by someone she didn't know. This information complicated the investigation further and deepened the suspicions surrounding her family members. As the investigation deepened, strange signs in the behavior of Riley's family members became more apparent. Some exhibited unusual reactions, from appearing overly calm to showing inconsistent actions when questioned. Seemingly small details, yet full of suspicion, gradually revealed the truth. Could the perpetrator be someone Riley had trusted the most? Could the odd behaviors within the family previously have been warning signs that everyone had overlooked? These questions remain unanswered, but they are gradually uncovering a relationship that was far different from what everyone had assumed. Andy McCaulay, 43 years old. Andy McCaulay, a 43-year-old man, was Riley's mother's boyfriend. With a gentle demeanor and an approachable personality, McCaulay easily gained the trust of Riley's family, especially her mother. Before the tragedy, he had been living with Riley's family for a significant period and often appeared as a caring stepfather figure. In reality, McCaulay had crafted a flawless image of a responsible man, the ideal boyfriend that those around him never suspected. However, behind that seemingly ordinary exterior was a man with a dark past. McCaulay had a history of domestic violence and controlling behavior, facts that only came to light during the investigation into Riley's case. He had a habit of acting in a domineering manner, with a quick temper and a tendency to wield his power to dominate others, especially those closest to him. McCaulay's cruelty wasn't confined to family conflicts, but extended beyond, as he showed no hesitation in taking the life of a young girl without a shred of remorse. During the time Riley was missing, McCaulay participated in the search efforts, portraying himself as a worried man concerned for the girl he treated like his own daughter. However, inconsistencies in his statements, along with evidence that later came to light, ensured that the culprit could not escape the police's scrutiny. When McCaulay was arrested, the truth about this predator became increasingly clear, forcing everyone who knew him to confront the horrifying reality of a monster hiding beneath a friendly facade. The investigation and trial. As soon as Riley Crossman's body was discovered, investigators launched a search for the truth under immense pressure. Phone data, calls, and messages from Riley were meticulously analyzed, revealing a series of strange patterns in her final hours. However, a critical turning point emerged when police began examining information related to Andy McCaulay, who had been living with Riley's family. Initially, McCaulay appeared cooperative and participated in search efforts, but his demeanor changed as key evidence began to surface. Investigators found that he had been near the location where Riley's body was discovered at the time of her disappearance. A series of inconsistencies in McCaulay's statements quickly made him the primary suspect. Notably, GPS data and security cameras revealed suspicious actions on McCaulay's part during the period Riley went missing, drawing the full focus of the police onto him. The investigators' meticulous efforts led them to uncover crucial details: traces of McCaulay at the crime scene, contradictions between his statements and the evidence, as well as a history of controlling and violent behavior. All these elements gradually painted a picture of a calculated perpetrator who had meticulously planned his heinous act.
Yeah, exactly.
At 2:30 in the morning, I don't know what's that.
I'll drive. She won't let me drive. I'll drive nothing. I won't drive her car at all.
She mad at you?
She's not mad at me. She's mad at me for getting high. She's like, we wouldn't have been out at 2:30 in the morning. We wouldn't have to go through these steps. And now we can be out here. We search for her right now. And I'm stuck in here for fucking 2 hours. Then she'll be out here looking for her. You know what I mean?
When did you get to work that morning?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock? Mm-hmm. So you made it back to the house by 4?
Yeah, literally. I was right there and back. I went there. I was supposed to get up at 4 o'clock. I woke up 2:30 feeling like shit. Couldn't have it.
Okay.
I went and got something that I wanted to get before I went to work at 4 o'clock. Well, I get up at 4 o'clock and leave by.
Okay.
I mean, she was
Then
there.
I asked you to look in terms of, do you know for a fact?
That's why I said no.
Yeah.
That's why I said no, because I
You
didn't know.
assume she's there.
Yeah, that's why I said no, because
But you also assume she went to her room.
Yes.
You don't know for a fact. Did you go in and talk to her?
I didn't go in
Did
there.
you see her come out?
I'm for sure she saw. I see her shut the door and go in her room, but she went there.
But you're downstairs. How'd you see her shut?
I was upstairs at first. Like I said,
Okay, that's what you not.
it was all upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did the dishes, then she did the fold the clothes, and then she went to her room. I went downstairs. Ryder and Riker kept on in the room.
The police searched Andy's phone, and they found dozens of phone calls and text messages to a family friend named Don Morgan at 2:30 in the morning. In these messages, Andy appeared very anxious and worried. He said things like, "I need a place to stay for a couple hours, and I have something to talk to you about."
She was over 10:30. I'm almost positive 10:30.
What? I gotta ask you this. What were the texts between you and Don, the guy, Morgan?
There's text.
Mm-hmm.
It's just was he home? I was going to stop by.
Okay, why would you stop by Don's at 2:30 in the morning?
Because I was going down, I was getting that closure, and then I seen the cop, and I was walking in that yard.
Okay.
I knocked the door like I was there, so I wasn't walking the street, but shit was like.
So general police on patrol, remember talking.
Remember which vehicle it was?
No,
City, deputy,
it was state cop.
Don's
State?
up.
I think it was state cop.
Don's up on Union Street.
Yeah,
Right.
that's probably what it was. Don's right up there. There's a state cop up there too, isn't there?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the vehicle right there.
Okay.
so you're sort of ditching away.
I'll give you a second. Yeah.
Andy claimed that on his way home from picking up his drugs, he saw a patrol car and he was worried he would be arrested. Andy would say that the lights were flashing, but the police were able to confirm that no stops were made around this time.
No, he don't do drugs, nothing. I just seen the cop, and I was wondering, he don't know how to do drugs either. The cop won't.
You would if you'd met him up to have compliment.
Yeah, I probably would have, but I was just trying to get. I seen the cop car.
One of the texts was something like you need to talk to him about something.
Oh yeah, but the AC about I talked to him about it. It's Howard, my cousin Howard. He works for Robin. No, that was just an excuse to stop by there. And I saw the cop. And that was my excuse.
So you'd already bought in there.
Yeah, all you had
It
is
was on you.
It was on me. I seen the state cop car, and I went there.
Even though Andy's midnight drug run was suspicious, it was what he did the next day that would lead police to believe he was their guy. Andy stated that he went to work with 2 other men, and they worked together the entire day. What he didn't tell them was that halfway through the workday, he told his coworkers he had to leave, and he took their work vehicle, which was a green pickup truck. Andy didn't have a license and he never drove, so they found this to be very strange. He also did not return for over 4 hours, and during that time, neighbors claimed that they saw the exact same pickup truck backed up to Andy's home.
First things first, like I already told you, you're here on your own free will. You can leave at any time. You understand that, right? Okay.
I'm Corporal Evers at the State Police. How you doing? No, not too bad.
Pretty much here to go over. Probably asked you a million times on some things, and there's some new things. He knows Berkeley County, I don't.
I can't think of the name of the
Tabor
station. Yep, that's it.
Tabor States.
The Tabor States. Yep, that's it. Yep.
All right. So who's all working that job site? You and anybody else? Just you two doing?
Just you that day.
Okay. What was your role that day? Like, what's your job duties?
Just we going in. We're doing trim.
Okay.
The final trim. Going in to do sheet mold, base, cabinets, shelving, door handles, all that.
Okay. So y'all do that. Do y'all have a typical lunchtime? Is it like when you feel like it, or
11, 12, whatever we feel like.
okay? How long do you normally eat lunch?
About an hour. Roundabouts.
And then you go back to work?
Go back to work.
Or you stay at the same job site? What time do you normally get home?
I think I got him 5:30. I think I got him 5:30 to 6ish.
Is that what time you got home that day?
Yeah, normal.
Okay. So y'all sound like, just so I understand, you're tabler, you're doing your thing, you're doing trim, doing all that kind of good stuff. Y'all take your lunch at around 11, 12-ish, or something like that.
How hungry we are.
Y'all eat in the truck, like physically inside the cab,
Yeah.
not in the back of the bed or anything like that.
Inside the cabin.
You packed a sandwich, you say roast beef? I just talked to Johnny, right? You saw him leaving. Okay. Would you be surprised if he told me something completely different?
Maybe.
Okay.
What do you say different?
Okay. This is one of these times you need to really sit down and think about what you're going to say. Okay. Because what he told me is complete opposite of what you just said. Okay. Well, it is. Okay. So do you want to rethink what you just told me? One thing I'm going to not do to you is lie to you. I promise you that. I will never lie to you. I'm not going to make up shit. Okay? Don't do that to me.
I'm not trying to.
Okay. You're not trying to. Let's try this again. Let's go back. I know it's been a couple days. I know a lot has happened. Okay, I get that, and I understand that. Let's get back to Wednesday morning. Let's go through this again and tell me what happened.
Andy goes over the story again, saying the same thing, that he never left the job site. The detectives know that he left and he went to his house and did not return for 4 hours, but they want to make sure Andy is sticking with his lie before they reveal the truth.
Take the rest of the day.
Okay.
Take the rest of the day.
Okay. Were you at that house the entire time fixing the shelves?
No.
Okay. Where were you at?
I was at the other house.
Okay.
I went and got some. I went and got some more drugs.
Okay.
Well, how do they know to randomly meet you in a parking lot?
Well, that day they didn't know to run me in the parking lot. I called them that day.
Okay. You're not. Listen, bud. You're not being honest. Okay. You're not being honest with us.
I know about the drugs.
There's a lot you're talking
I don't want to give people's names out.
We're not arresting people.
You know what I mean?
We're not here to arrest anybody for drugs.
Drug dealers on this, okay?
Okay.
What I tell you before, Riley, we're drug dealers. I would like to hope that in this hand you see your drug dealer friends, and over here is Riley, but yet these people here I want to close up and protect.
Okay. Well, no, I don't want to protect them.
So you're down there for about an hour and a half for him to come, and you get your stuff, you use your stuff, and then you go back
to jail. Yeah.
Okay. Then what happens?
We'll work the rest of the day.
Okay. And then what happens?
We went home.
Okay. And then what happens?
We got home. Chantel says Riley's missing.
Okay.
And all that whole place loose.
Okay. What if I told you that I know you weren't that Snowco and you didn't buy drugs off anybody that day? See what I'm getting at? Okay. We went from this story to this story, now we're gonna get a third story. Okay? This is one of these times you really need to think of what you're telling me. Okay? Because you're not being honest. Remember what I told you about being honest?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna just throw shit at you.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm not here to do that to you. I'm not gonna insult you in any way, shape, or form. Please don't do that to me. Okay? I know you weren't there. Okay? I know you didn't buy drugs off your cousin, and I know you didn't use them in that parking lot that day. Okay? Where did you go when you left?
Went to my house to get the drugs.
Okay.
I already had them in my house.
Okay.
I already told Chantel.
Okay.
I still want to tell you I had them in my house.
So you left to drive back to get drugs, to come back to your job site. Okay. Where was she at when you went home?
Who?
Chantel.
She's at work.
Okay. So nobody's home at that time?
Nobody.
Okay, where are drugs at in your house when you go back to get them?
Outside.
Where at?
Outside.
Whereabouts outside?
Right there by the, if you go underneath my little, there's a shed, if you go underneath my little porch, there's some beds, frames sitting there, brown bed frames behind there.
Okay. So you go back home, you use your drugs, and then you go back to work, and then what?
That was it.
That was it.
Andy's first story is that he left to meet a dealer at a local gas station, and he had to wait almost 2 hours for him to arrive. Then he changes his story, and he says he went home to get the drugs, and then he went back to work for the rest of the day. This may explain why he was at his house, but why did it take 4 hours? The detective will now present Andy with another piece of evidence. Riley wore glasses, and her glasses were found in her bedroom. The reason the glasses stand out is because if a person with bad eyes left their home, they would usually wear their glasses. This means that Riley was most likely taken out of the home without her consent.
And I'm also telling you she doesn't have glasses on right now. Okay. And I'm also telling you that somebody that leaves a house to go somewhere puts the glasses on.
Yeah.
Okay, which is telling us that she probably didn't leave that house by herself. Okay, the glasses were left there, is what I'm getting at, is what I'm telling you.
Okay.
Okay, so why would somebody do that?
I
What would make somebody leave a house and forget something that's, to me, just as vital as a cell phone nowadays?
She would have her glasses on. She don't leave the house without her glasses.
Okay, did you see her leave the house?
No.
Then how are you going to share her glasses on?
That's what I'm saying. She would have her glasses on.
That's what I'm getting at. Okay, so for her to leave that house, you know that. You're telling me that she would have her glasses on.
She would.
Okay. So what happened this time that she doesn't have them on?
I don't know. That she didn't have her glasses on.
You know, do you see where I'm getting at with that? Somebody's not going to put themselves in a situation where they're going to wander out and not have glasses on.
Exactly.
Okay. which makes us believe that, you know, she had some help getting outside.
She should have glasses. Well, I don't know.
Right.
She always has glasses. What do you want me to say?
Okay. I'm just telling you the whole part about you being honest.
I'm being honest with you. I've been honest with you. I told you the shit that I didn't even want to tell you.
Okay. You're being somewhat honest. I mean, we're doing some polling to get some information about some drug activity, which to us, I don't even give two shits about. But yet we're having trouble pulling that out of you.
Because I was worried about the names out there.
Okay, and I told you I don't care about that.
I didn't say that.
You told us about the drug activity, what, 2 nights ago?
I did.
Did I arrest you for it?
Your names or anything?
Yeah.
What do you and Chantel talk about? What she thinks going on?
Anyway, she just, we don't really know. We just,
And y'all gotta talk a little bit. I would think, I mean, there's a lot going on, but, man, what's she telling you?
we haven't been talking crazy much about it. Just been looking.
How does she feel about you going to get heroin that night?
She was not happy about it.
How does she feel about you going back to the house and getting cocaine?
She wasn't happy about it.
You know, the further this rolls out, you know, we're doing this, you know she just didn't disappear, right?
Yeah. Right. I know there's no way she would have been home by now.
Right, okay. You know, the further along this is, whatever happens, and whoever did this to her, the worse off it gets for that person too.
Yes, hope so.
Okay. So like I said, I know you came in here and you're trying to help the cause, you're trying to talk in, but like, understand we're doing our thing, and the more time that goes on, like I said, she's just not managed.
Yeah, of course, we know that.
And like I said, we're fairly certain she just didn't wander out of the house by herself and took a nature hike somewhere. You know, we're fairly certain that she was basically taken out of that house by somebody. Okay, we have very strong reason to believe that. So like I said, we have a very limited area in your home and a very limited amount of people that come in and out of your house.
Yeah.
Okay. So like I said, she just didn't up and disappear.
No, I don't believe it either.
Yeah, no, nobody does. I'm just, you know, just saying that she just didn't up and disappear and pack her shit and roll out and go. You know, there's certain things, you know, especially a teenager to have a phone with her. Maybe she had that with her. Maybe somebody wanted to have that phone with her, so that phone disappeared too. Okay, it's really convenient that her phone's with her and her phone's missing. Which is pretty vital for a teenager, all of her communications, and maybe there's hidden communications that somebody didn't want somebody to see, but that phone's conveniently gone now. But yet her glasses are still at the house, and there's other important things at the house that a teenager would take. So like I said, she was probably taken out of that house by somebody.
Yeah, I feel something that she was taken that way, I feel, because she'd be home by now. She wouldn't leave her mom.
She was taken from that house, is what I'm saying. Okay, she didn't wander off. Okay, she just didn't go out and wander down the road at 2 o'clock in the morning, or 5 o'clock in the morning, or 7 o'clock the next day. She just didn't do that. Okay, she didn't pack a bag and take her clothes, take her glasses, take a cell phone charger, take all of her money. She had most of her money. Someone's gonna go.
No, her money was still in his book bag.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So like I said, if someone's gonna run away or do something, they're going to make a little bit better effort, even for a 15-year-old.
I agree.
For a 15-year-old kid, they're going to at least have the necessities. Would you agree?
I agree.
Okay, they would have their clothes, they would have their money, they would sure as hell have a cell phone charger with them, and they would sure as hell have their glasses with them. Okay?
I agree.
So with that said, that's why we're getting back to she was taken from that house. Okay, and whoever took her out of that house didn't think to take those important things. And I'm telling you, okay, you understand when I have to talk to you.
Yeah, I understand. So I talk to you, that's why I'm here. Why I've been here every time you ask me to be here.
We
But I don't do nothing with the kid.
Where is she?
I don't know. If I knew, I would have her home for her mother. This is starting to get aggravating, and I don't know what the kid is. If I did, I would have her home. They gotta have a drug problem that has nothing to do with this case. I don't know why you guys just keep pushing it. It has nothing to do with Riley. My drug problem has nothing to do with Riley. Yeah, it sucks. It does fall back. Yeah, I'm our stepdad. I shouldn't be doing drugs. Yeah, I understand all that. But that has nothing to do with Riley missing. You understand what I'm saying? That has nothing to do with Riley being missing. Me doing drugs. I don't understand why you guys keep pushing that.
What has to do with messing with her?
I don't know why she's missing. I have no clue. If I did, we have her home. I mean, we've been looking for the kid, and I'm wasting time being here when I should be out looking for her. You guys should be out looking for her.
Have you been out looking for her?
Yes, we've been out looking for her. We've been everywhere.
Okay, where have you been?
We've been to Capen. We've been to Cool Farm. We've been down this girl Kayla today already. We've been up and down through town, all the way down through the cave. We've been everywhere looking for her. Me and her mother, and then me and her grandfather today was out looking for her. Okay. I don't understand why you guys keep bringing drugs up. It doesn't have anything to do with Riley.
Well, we both have seen drugs do bad stuff to people.
I've never seen drugs do cause super.
No, absolutely. I've seen multiple people be killed over drugs.
I've seen a bad drug deal or something.
I've seen multiple home invasions where people get shot, stabbed.
Yeah, I understand that kind of stuff. I understand that kind of stuff, but not for not doing drugs. Not for me doing drugs. I'm gonna kidnap my kid.
It's from people
harm her.
Drugs. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, I'm not making this up. I'm telling you, this is what I've seen.
I'm telling you right now, no drugs ever gonna make me harm my kids. I've been a drug addict since I was 28 years old. I've never harmed anyone. And I've been through the dirt, been through the shit. I've shot it, I've done it all. And I've never harmed anyone. I've never harmed anyone. You just look at my record. The only thing I never even stole anything to get drugs. I knew a criminal record like I have a criminal record by selling drugs. And get caught with drugs. Not stealing, not harming people. Never ever in my life have I harmed anyone.
She vanished, but what I'm saying is there's certain things that are just way out of line. The dog is a real big thing to me. Okay, somebody did not come into your home and take her out of that home.
If something happened in that house, that dog would have woke every one of us up.
Exactly, if the person wasn't supposed to be in there.
No matter who it was. Okay, if I would have did something wrong, that dog would have woke everybody in the house. That dog would not let anyone harm anyone in that house. If somebody would come in there and do something to me, if one of the kids were trying to harm me in that house, that dog would go off. Even that Chantel, that dog would not let anyone get harmed in that house. No one. Me, Chantel, Riley, Riker, Ryder. None of us, nobody can harm anyone in that house. You're gonna harm each other, nobody come in the house and harm you. That dog would not let anything happen to anyone.
All right, unless the incident wasn't a very announced one. You know, I'm not talking about banging shit and slamming tables and yelling and screaming. It could be a very subtle incident where a dog's not gonna pick up on that.
I guess.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying someone coming in and breaking shit and throwing MFs out and yelling and screaming.
I guess.
But if it's a subtle incident where there's not a lot of commotion, the dog might not pick up on that.
When the case went to trial in October 2021, McCaulay was charged with first-degree murder, and the evidence against him was irrefutable. During the trial, the prosecution presented clear evidence of McCaulay's crime, from his deliberate attempt to move Riley's body to the injuries on her body that confirmed this was an intentional act of murder. Throughout the proceedings, McCaulay tried to deny his guilt, but the overwhelming evidence rendered his defense weak. Psychological experts highlighted McCaulay's history of violent and controlling behavior, painting a portrait of someone capable of committing such a heinous act. Particularly heart-wrenching was the testimony of Riley's loved ones, including her mother, who tearfully recounted the trust they had placed in McCaulay, trust that had been cruelly betrayed. In the end, after an intense trial, McCaulay was convicted of first-degree murder. With undeniable evidence of his brutal and calculated actions, he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. While this verdict could never ease the immense pain endured by Riley's family, it provided a measure of justice for the young girl whose life was tragically cut short. However, one haunting truth remains for everyone who followed this case: the reality that perpetrators can hide within the closest relationships, and the price of such betrayal is immeasurably steep.
Doctor, would you tell the jury what your findings were regarding the death of Riley Crossman and how you arrived at that finding?
So, upon review of all the available studies, the autopsy findings, autopsy toxicology, review of some law enforcement information, I arrived with the cause of death as a homicide due to unspecified means in setting of decomposition, because decomposition, of course, makes impossible to really pinpoint what was the cause of death.
How much of a problem will that be for prosecutors? Now, he said cause of death. What he meant was manner of death is homicide. Cause of death unspecified. They don't know what caused the death of Riley in this case. Prosecutors got to prove the case, right? I mean, sometimes issues like this loom large with a jury. But the medical examiner did testify to some other things that are very helpful to prosecutors. Take a listen.
Doctor, is it accurate that the report also reflects that the shirt that was located on Riley Crossman's body was what was described as a Native American print?
Yes.
And is it accurate that the clothing she was wearing also included denim shorts?
Yes.
And did you notice anything specific about the shorts?
They were unzipped.
Were they also unbuttoned?
Unbuttoned and unzipped.
Okay. And do you remember if Riley Crossman's body at that time had shoes on?
There was one shoe on.
And do you remember if there was anything specific about those shoes? Well, strike that. Do you know if the shoe was tied or untied?
If I recall, it was untied.
And do you recall anything about a adherent white chalk-like material located on the shoe?
Yes, there was some.
Let me bring in Court TV crime and justice reporter Joy Lim-Nackern, who's been following all this for us. Joy, great to see you. This, to me, the medical examiner, you want that cause of death, couldn't deliver it because of the decomposition. But here testifying about the clothing, how significant of an issue is all of this? And were there other witnesses like Sergeant Wolf who talked about the clothing?
Yeah, I mean, so First Sergeant Wolf did talk about the clothing and actually even got into the cause and manner of death as well. He was actually asked whether, suffocation and strangulation could be ruled out. And he said, no, according to what he gathered, he was there for the autopsy on May 17th. And then the defense objected to that. It was stricken from the record, that line of questioning. But obviously the jury got to hear that. They also got to hear Sergeant Wolf elaborate more on kind of how Riley's body was disrobed, at least partially disrobed. In fact, he also shared that her genitalia were partially exposed as well. Let's go ahead and listen to this clip from testimony by Sergeant Wolf.
I want to next direct your attention to the victim's clothing. Do you recall what she was wearing?
I do. At the time that we were present, there was a shirt. It was bunched up around the neck area here. Later, when they took it off and hung it up to dry, as I recall, it was like a Native American or tribal pattern type shirt. She had on small blue jean shorts that were unbuttoned, and there was a zip. The zipper was kind of a unique, it was like a ring type zipper. The button had like a little A. I don't know if that's Abercrombie or what, but it was the design pattern. The shorts were kind of torn a little bit in the back. The shorts themselves were like small type shorts, blue jean type denim shorts. And then the underwear on the child victim was red, like a larger type band, and it was. I noticed that we noted, and we discussed this with the doctor, that they were both pulled high. They were unusually pulled high. They didn't look. I don't know how to describe that. Just when you put on your clothes, or when you put, on your own clothes, you pull your
hiked up.
Your height, yeah. I mean, I don't know how to say that, but these looked hiked up, like even if maybe somebody pulled them on quickly, or maybe something had been pulled on, but they were hiked. That's something that Sergeant Wojtek and I discussed, was just the fact that they didn't look comfortable the way they were put on. They were pulled too high. I don't know how to. I don't know how they.
Do you recall if the victim's vaginal area was partially exposed?
It was. It was because the underpants were pulled into that area, so to say. I'm trying. So yes.
And Vinny, I found this so significant because you remember in defense opening statements, they pointed to the fact that at the time, they argued there was no motive and no cause of death. But here in this one witness, Sergeant Wolf, you have him alluding to two possible causes of death and also a possible motive, introducing that sexual element.
Absolutely. Disturbing but important evidence for prosecutors in all this, and it kind of is in sync with that text message that she sent, where she was very uncomfortable when she said Andy was in the room. Joy, appreciate it. Thanks so much. We'll speak again. Joy Lim-Nakran, Court TV Crime and Justice reporter. Let's bring back in our think tank, get a little reaction to all of this. Renee Hill, cause of death, is that going to be a problem for prosecutors here?
I think it's somewhat of a problem, but not a huge hurdle for them because of the way that they are building the circumstantial evidence in this case. You have a body that has been dumped. We have a cause or a manner of death we know is homicide. So now if they are able to connect him, even circumstantially, to the murder, I think that they're going to be fine. And from what I've seen so far, they're doing a very, very good job of building this case and showing the circumstantial evidence that it's here.
Molly Palmer, how about linking that prior evidence, that the testimony about the text message that she sent, that she was uncomfortable, creeped out by this guy? If I'm a juror, I'm putting two and two together with the way her body was found.
I think so, Vinny. I think the circumstantial evidence in this case is pretty significant, and so this not having the actual cause of death before the jury is not going to result in the prosecution kind of failing to prove their case. We have that text message. I think when the jury hears that, they're going to start fixating on McCauley's, how he's looking as he's sitting there at defense table, and he's very stoic. He's not reacting at all. I think this creeped out theme is going to be pulled throughout the trial and probably going to help convict him at the end of it.
All right, Carmen Rowe, I want you to take a listen, because you've got, I think, some conflicting evidence here about where the defendant was on May 8th, because he's saying one thing in a recording, and it sounds like his boss is saying something else. Let's take a listen.
What did you ask Chantel?
If Andy was coming back to the job site.
Did she respond back to you?
Yes, she said she hadn't even knew that he had left.
Okay. Did you have any other communication with Chantel?
I don't believe so, no.
And was this communication before lunch or after lunch?
This was after.
It was after lunch?
Yes.
Okay. And did eventually Andy come back to the job site?
He did.
And do you remember what time he came back to the job site?
No, I'm not sure exactly what time it was.
How much longer after lunch do you believe it was?
Probably an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Okay. Do you recall, was he driving a vehicle when he came back?
Yeah, my green Dodge.
Did you actually see him physically driving that vehicle?
Yes, he pulled up in it.
What do you remember about Andy? Did you see Andy get out of the vehicle?
I did.
What do you remember about Andy getting out of the vehicle?
He got out of the truck. I noticed his shoes were untied and he was kind of fixing his clothes. Walked up to me and said, "My bad, dog. I'll work late if I need to." And I said, "It's all good. I was just happy to have the truck back."
Did you ask him, where the heck have you been for the last 4 to 5 hours?
I did not.
So Tuesday, do you remember where y'all were working at Tuesday? We started out
We met at Red Hill like we always do.
Okay.
We went to Tabor State. Started just putting up handrails, oak handrails. We messed up the one rail. We got the big rail up, but cut the little one.
What time is this at roughly? Ballpark. I never go back. Just an approximate time frame.
8:30, 9 o'clock.
Okay.
We was there for maybe a couple hours. When Howard called and said that he needed us to come back to Red Hill to help him, but somebody didn't show up, or I don't know exactly why. All I know, he had to put the shelf up.
That dude. We're on Tuesday. Yeah, this is Wednesday, I think.
All right.
There again, dude. I get it. I understand. How about Tuesday? So that day sticks out in your mind. Let's go backwards to Tuesday.
I worked in Red Hill.
Okay. You were there all day?
Yeah, we were there all day.
Carmen Rowe, he says he was there all day working on the day in question, but I think the quote is, "My bad, dog," when he came back to work.
You know, as a defense attorney, one statement per defendant is bad enough. When you're given more than one statement, you are getting caught in lies, and that's a situation that he's going to have trouble getting around in this case. As great as his defense lawyer's doing in this case, I think he's making a lot of hay out of it. But to Molly's point, I think the circumstantial evidence in this case is pretty compelling.
Yeah, I think it's more than compelling at this point, but we'll find out. I want to check back in with Joy, if we can. Again, real quickly, Joy Lim Nackton, Court TV Crime and Justice reporter. What's coming up? What's next in this case? When are things wrapping up?
Yeah, so actually the state's expected to rest their case tomorrow, but not before we hear from a DNA expert and also a cell phone expert, Vinny.
All right, big day tomorrow. Thanks so much, Joy.
The case of Riley Crossman is not just a family tragedy, but a profound shock to the small community where she lived. It revealed the unsettling truth that danger can lurk within the relationships we hold dearest. The unimaginable betrayal by someone considered family exposed the hidden risks within households often regarded as the safest places. This case became a stark reminder of the pervasive issue of domestic violence and control, sparking critical conversations about recognizing warning signs and addressing abuse. Riley's tragic death forced the local community and beyond to confront uncomfortable realities about trust and safety. It compelled families to question the stability within their own homes and encouraged systemic changes in how domestic violence and familial abuse cases are handled. Law enforcement agencies, too, recognize the challenges of uncovering violence concealed within seemingly ordinary relationships. The lessons from this case are profound. They emphasize the importance of vigilance in recognizing subtle yet significant warning signs, such as controlling behaviors or shifts in a person's demeanor. Ignoring even vague feelings of unease can lead to dire consequences. Moreover, the case serves as a reminder that trust should not be blind, even for those who appear kind and reliable. Constant awareness and questioning can be vital in safeguarding oneself and loved ones from hidden threats. Riley's story is a heartbreaking yet powerful wake-up call, urging society to remain vigilant and never be deceived by appearances in a world where danger can emerge from the most unexpected places.